Morning. Just going to do kind of a chill Sunday morning video. I'm going to go up and figured I'd give you guys some garden updates because the garden looks absolutely amazing. Rachel's working out here with me this year. She's coming out 3 days a week working on the garden. She's doing a fabulous job. And I couldn't do it without her, to be honest. And it just looks amazing. We've got that main garden, and then we added an additional big squash garden off to the right side of it, so I'll show you that. And we've got corn planted up in the fields this year, stripped in, so got a lot going on.
With my mind, guilty pleasure has a bitter taste. In the end, my friend, are you sure you wanna fight? Ooh, has got that time, not me. Ooh, he is interested in patience. Oh, I'm a gazelle, always running, adrenaline in every blood cell. Some say I'm unwell, but I don't care. Oh, I swear. What you do to me is beyond cruel. You're not known to be cool, but
thank you for using Farm Uber. You will be transported to the back side of the property here shortly. Please fasten your seatbelt.
Love the circumstances, not me. Who has got the time? Not me. I'm a gazelle, always running, adrenaline in every blood cell. Some say I'm unwell, but I don't care. Oh, I swear I don't care. Don't care.
So one part of this video is trying to explain to people, if you keep it simple and you focus on your soil and you create great soil through super compost, that you don't need to put anything else. And so you and I were talking when she first started. She was like, well, I've got a whole shelf full of all these different products. What about fish emulsion? What about this? What about compost tea? What about, and I'm basically what I've told you, but what you've witnessed. What would you say? Is that statement true, that basically if you just take care of that soil with super compost, good things will happen?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your plants have way more growth than mine, and I'm constantly pumping mine with fish emulsion and bone meal and everything else. And it seems like yours have way more growth than mine ever have. And
my soil?
Your soil's great. You dig in and there's earthworms everywhere, and I can't help but play with them as I'm gardening.
And this is part of the learning process that I've had over the years, and that she's starting to have, and understanding that it's very, very simple. If you make that super compost and if you put it into the soil before you plant, and then you top dress about every 3 or 4 weeks, a little bit, that's it. Nothing else. The only thing else you have to take care of is the physical aspect of the plants and watching for bugs and fungus, and that's basically it. And of course, water. And I'm telling you, rain gauges are so important, because we were just talking that I kept saying last week, oh, sorry, Camille. I kept saying last week that we were going to have all this rain move in, and it rained for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and it was a hard rain, but I only had barely half an inch of rain. And that's why we watch the rain gauge, we take a trowel, we open up the soil, we feel the soil. We don't water unless we feel dry soil or plants wilting. That's when we're going to water. You can definitely overwater, but rain gauge is so important, because you look at a weather app and you look at radar and you're like, oh man, we got a bunch of rain. If you're not measuring how much you got, and it may be That end of the property got no rain, and the upper end of the property got a huge. I've seen that before too, where you just get rain on certain sides of properties. Golf courses get this all the time too. Anyways, all right. So, are you ready to work? Are you ready to work? Did you see the possum? I know you saw that possum today.
She
I forgot
did not
to.
like him.
I know. He went for a little farm Uber ride. Okay, so before I hop in the garden, let me come up here and look at the compost pile. This compost pile's been sitting here for a couple weeks now, and I'm getting ready to take my John Deere tractor and I'm going to level this out. I'm going to put some more dirt booster and some more alfalfa pellets, and I'm going to put some water on it. This thing got really, really hot. It was up to 150 degrees roughly, 145. And it's starting to cool down again. Well, I want it really active when I put it back. We're about to top dress some of these plants in here, but I think it's pretty cool now. It's probably maybe in the 90s. She's still got life. She's still got temperature in there, so down towards the bottom she's probably at about 130 degrees. But here's what we do. I've made several videos on this. Take a pre-composted manure as your brown base. Chickens are going nuts. As your brown base, add Dirt Booster Plus and add that's your green matter, and alfalfa pellets or whatever you want to add. Brown matter is stuff that's already either high carbon content like wood chips or composted, pre-composted manure. Your green matter is stuff that you can eat or an animal can eat. So green matter would be alfalfa pellets, corn, Dirt Booster Plus, which has corn distillates. Anything that's not already digested or broken down, that's your green matter. And that's what makes your microbes explode in here. And they will digest this and they create a huge amount of nutrients in here. Again, when we send this off to Clemson University, it comes back showing excessive of all the nutrients. That's what we want. It would be kind of like sending synthetic fertilizer down to them and having them test it. But this is all natural. This is all we do. Again, we're not against fertilizers. If used properly, fertilizers are great. We use them on our lawns. We use them whenever we need it. And I'll show you over here in this garden, we had to use some on the corn. Let me skip this garden for a second and go right over to the squash garden. So this is our main garden. This garden the first year produced 3,000 pounds of produce. We cut it back the next year. It was probably about 1,500 to 2,000 pounds of produce. But I had butternut squash in here last year, and that butternut squash overtook 50% of the garden. I literally had a pile of butternut squash, and I love butternut squash, but I don't want it taking over my garden. So anything that's a crawling squash type plant that moves on the ground, we have now established a brand new squash garden. And this squash garden it's big. It's like 100 feet by 35 feet wide. And let me just take you in here. All I did was I just ran my subsoiler, which is a hook that goes down into the ground and breaks that hard pan. It doesn't till the ground, just breaks that and leaves a little bump in the ground. I ran my subsoiler, and then I had the guys dig holes and put super compost in the holes. Then we put natural soil back on top. When we plant the seeds, as the seeds grow and they develop roots, they hit that super compost down lower and they start to explode. And that's what's happening right now. The seed germination germinates in just basic raw soil, but as the plant grows roots, it hits that super compost and man, it just takes off. Chickens. So you can see some of these more mature plants in here, see them over here? They're starting to hit that super compost and they're just boom, they're just exploding. So I've got a whole row of butternut, I've got cantaloupe and watermelon, specialty squashes like spaghetti squash and sweet squash, go back to butternut, and then I go to pumpkin. Now around the edge, we ran the rototiller, we put a little bit of super compost in there, but I had an old bag of that was sitting on the shelf that was open. It was DGL, dark green lawn, which is pretty much all release fast release nitrogen. And so I put DGL where the corn was. Dude, Look at this corn. Look at this corn. Compared to it's 3 times the size of the corn in the fields that was not fertilized, really. Look at that. That's crazy. It's dark green and it's shooting up like crazy. So this will be interesting. You're going to want to see this in about 2 months. I don't know how we're going to harvest stuff in here because it's just going to be crazy. This is just going to be an insane wild squash garden. It's going to be kind of fun. Next year we'll make it a little more organized. We'll actually work these rows a little bit with more compost. But I just needed a place that the deer wouldn't get into, because a deer walk by, they'll see a big beautiful pumpkin, they'll take a bite out of the pumpkin, and that's it. It's like, dude, really? You ruined my pumpkins? Nice. Chicken Coop 2.0, I'll do a full video on this. This is my design. Jesse came out and built this, and man, he overbuilds stuff, but it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, the wife has to come by and put her signs up. Okay, this year, Rachel was talking about, she asked me if she could do some herbs. So this is an herb box, carrot box, and lettuce box. We might have to shade cloth the lettuce if it starts to get too hot. I did a video on how we make these trellises. Takes you about 10 minutes to make them. This is all from Tractor Supply on these trellises. But you can walk under them and you can harvest. So I've got on both sides equally beans, cucumber, peas. And they'll grow. You can already see. Here's a funny story. Last year we had beans over here. See the old bean vines on the pole? And look, some of those old beans already blossomed up, and look at it, it's already growing. It's up over my head. It's over 6 feet tall already. That's crazy, man. So this will be interesting. We had a couple extra rows, so I planted some more zucchinis in these 3 right here because everyone wants zucchini squash. In here I planted what people want. We give away all of our produce and eggs to neighbors, friends, families. And over here last year, this was wildflowers. I actually decided to make this a standing squash, so I have yellow squash, zucchini, hybrid zucchini in here, and then we moved the wildflowers outside. Last year I had these huge zinnias all along that chicken house. It was gorgeous. So we plant wildflowers wherever we can around here. Okay, this whole side is tomatoes, all different varieties. I have 50 tomato plants, and you can see we start them off in cages with supports, and then we have a trellis system. You can see, probably see these lines here, and then we use these plastic clips to support them as they grow up. And we have to tie these end poles into the fence because the weight of it will actually cause them to do this. And I've just figured out yesterday I need to get some more T-posts and actually probably support those ends too. Because these plants, last year, every single plant had probably 15 to 25 tomatoes, and you got 50 plants. These things get heavy and they get tall. They're indeterminate, so they'll grow past this. The Good Witch was here 2 years ago, I think. And she took one and the vine went like over here. It was like 14, 16 feet tall. So they get crazy. I've already got tomatoes out here. You can see that pretty much all the plants already start to have tomatoes. And what we do is a lot of your fungus actually comes from ground splash or soil splash. So you'll see that if you don't trim your lower leaves, that you'll get those they're already returning yellow. If they're in contact or near that ground, they're going to turn yellow with disease. So we strip all of our plants bare, and as they grow, we'll remove all those bottom. I don't care about suckers. I care about lower leaves. Those lower leaves will get the disease on them. So she's already stripped these plants twice, but you can see pretty much how bare it is down here. And then this is what gets the sunlight. And we also remove the middle leaves. The middle leaves have a tendency just to create congestion and not allow airflow. So we remove our bottom and our middle leaves. We don't even worry about suckers. I know a lot of people spend a whole bunch of time on suckers. We're not a nursery. We're not a commercial production. We're in Georgia, we're hot, we're humid, and those are the conditions that make fungus happen, not overhead watering. You can see I didn't water overhead, and look at all this is soaking wet, this whole plant. So unless you're going to cover your plants up every night, and whenever it rains, you're going to have water on your leaves. What we do is, I believe it's copper sulfate. We mix up a very mild copper sulfate, and all we do is we just come by and we put a light mist of copper sulfate on our leaves. And what I do is I also spray that on the ground around the plants and on the bottom, and then a light coat on top. Now, copper sulfate is not a cure, it's a preventative. It'll help prevent mold and fungus spores from germinating. So that's what it does. You can overuse that product, by the way, and get some toxicity, but basically just light treatments is fine. We come out here maybe once or twice a week whenever we see a lot of rain or it's hot and humid, and I really treat the ground. I spray lightly on that wheat straw, and then I spray the bottom of the plant, and then I just do a real light mist on the leaves. But same thing on here. Let me talk real quick about cucumbers. The reason why we are trellising cucumbers this year is last year we had the cucumbers on the fence, and cucumbers are real touchy. You have to harvest your cucumbers early. You can't let them get to full maturity, and do not let a cucumber get yellow. If a cucumber gets yellow on the vine, it sends a signal to the plant that our reproduction process has finished and you can go ahead and die. And that's what happened the past 2 years, is our cucumber plants die out early because we can't find the cucumbers. We think we get them all, and then we see this massive yellow cucumber sitting way down underneath. Well, the trellis system will help with that. We'll be able to get all the cucumbers picked and pick them early, which will really extend the life of your cucumber plants. Same thing with like peas and other stuff like that too. You got to make sure you pick them a little bit early. Peppers. This next side over here, this is tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, peppers. Those are the things that people want. So that's what we've been planting. So over here I've got all my pepper plants. I've got red pepper, green pepper, jalapenos. And I know someone's going to say, there is no such thing as a red pepper plant. It's a green pepper that turns red. They sell a red pepper plant. So maybe someone drop a comment down below and explain why they sell a red pepper plant if they all turn green, if they all turn red. I've actually we need to take these lower leaves off these pepper plants. I'm gonna have Rachel do that either today or tomorrow, but look at the jalapenos on here already. And that's gorgeous. I've got peppers everywhere. So if you have a bug problem, I don't want to have to talk over chickens. If you have a bug problem, you can use pyrethrin. Pyrethrin is a natural OM organic listed bug killer that is it's a botanical extraction from chrysanthemums. And the problem with it is that it's very short-lived. Sunlight impacts it, the temperature impacts it, so it's only good for like maybe 6 to 48 hours. So if you have a bug problem, come out during a time where the bees are not present, typically after sunset, and you can spray your plants if you have like tomato bugs and different bugs on there. But yeah, we have pyrethrin we'll be using this year. Now permethrin is different. Oh, look at my carpenter bees. Yep, carpenter bees. Carpenter bees in the jar. Brand new chicken coop, and I've already got 2 carpenter bee holes. We took care of that. I've got a trap over there that has about 18 carpenter bees in it. If you've ever had carpenter bees really attack a structure, they will absolutely destroy. We had decades ago, years and years ago, we had a cabin in North Georgia mountains, and the whole porch was basically destroyed from carpenter bees. I did one treatment up there, came back later that afternoon, and there were probably 50 to 100 dead carpenter bees on the floor. It was crazy, but they will literally eat out the whole inside of a piece of wood, and especially on fences. So same thing, we just take a little bit of permethrin. Now permethrin is a fake pyrethrin that's made, it's a chemical made in the lab. and it is very, very popular because it's safe on animals, used at the right dosage. They use it on cattle, they use it on dogs. You don't use it on cats. And they actually use it on lice. If you have head lice, that's, if you look at the thing, it'll say permethrin in it. But it's long lasting. You can spray it on your clothes and it'll last for days, if not weeks. You can spray it on wood, it'll last days, weeks, possibly even months. It's even used in some termicides. So it's actually, it's probably my favorite bug treatment if I have to use something. I actually use it on fire ant piles. We keep a bottle out here, and if I have, we used to have a ton of fire ants out here. I'll just shoot a fire ant pile with it and be done. All right, so if you have any questions, if I haven't covered anything, let me know. But again, you have to keep this, if you just understand the simple fact that making your soil extremely alive and full of green organic matter and super compost, that's all you do. Forget everything else. You're going to hear about bone meal, you're going to hear about worm castings, you're going to hear about organic fertilizers. You don't need any of that if you'll just make the super compost. Put it into your soil, which is probably too late for some of you, but top dress. Now I don't let it touch the actual plant because it's pretty strong. I actually put it all around it and then we just water it in. Hi. Did you see that? Good morning. Yes, I did see it. I forgot to warn you about it. Camille, leave it alone. She's about to go for a little trip. I'm gonna take her way back in the far property and let her go. Camille, that's a nasty animal. That's a nasty animal. I forgot to warn her about the possum in the trap. Thank you for using Farm Uber. You will be transported to the back side of the property here shortly. Please fasten your seatbelt. Go on, little guy. There you go. Go on. This is your new home. You don't have a tail on you. All right, he's going off my property. Keep going, keep going. All right, so now I know who was coming up to the coop and to the barn, and it was him. Okay, so the compost pile was a little bit dry, and I want to get it really active so that we can top dress this. So I've spread it out with the tractor, and I put more dirt booster and alfalfa pellets, and you can see here. And then what I'll do is I'm going to soak this with water. It was drying out. And then I'll mix it up. I like to scoop it and drop it, get oxygen and water inside of it, and that'll just reboost this pile. All right, so here's something that's kind of cool. John's over there cutting this. John just cut this common Bermuda. We put it by the Ego level 2. This irrigation system is running off my shallow well over here, but I don't have a way to irrigate under here, under those trees. So I've got one of my medium-sized irrigation sprinklers over there running, you can see it. And I've got 300 feet of hose going down to that pump. Now that pump is also watering one of the fields right now. So while that thing runs, I can actually tie into that. There's enough PSI, it's like 91 PSI. There's enough pressure, and that's the key to it. It's a high pressure pump that I actually run that sprinkler, run that irrigation head, and run 300 feet of hose and come over here and run this. The other challenge is this area over here. What I'll probably do in a couple minutes, once he gets done cutting that, I'll pull that over here. Oh, friggin' pollen, dude. This pollen's gonna explode. But you gotta see this. Last year I put out wildflower seeds, and look what came back. Look at this. Dude, isn't that crazy? Look at all those poppies. Look at that. Dude, that is just crazy. So Rachel's gonna come in here. She's gonna clean this all up. I've got fountain grass. Half of it's not coming back up. So we're gonna pull some plants. We need to weed this, and we're gonna plant some more permanent stuff in here. But man, yeah, it's nice to have free water. Everywhere I'm watering right now is all free water. All it cost me is about 3/4 of a tank of gas. So gas is what, $2.80. It's costing me just over $2 to do all my watering today. That's nice. All right, so the girls are working on the flower beds out here. John just cut this Bermuda. I'm putting some water to it. This is common Bermuda. It's finally starting to fill in. It's been slow this year. And then he just cut. He loves riding my Toro, that big 60-inch Titan. There he goes. But man, this area, look at that. That really looks nice. So those woods used to come up to here. We had all the trees and stumps removed, raked it with a skid steer. We've just been throwing out junk seed and letting weeds grow, clover, grasses, whatever. But when it's cut, man, that looks nice. All right, so it's almost 4:30 now. I've almost been at it for 12 hours. I'm exhausted. This is non-stop, but I wanted to show you something real quick. I wasn't happy with the stain here, so I did a video that I'm getting ready to put out about pressure washing wood with a surface cleaner, not a tip. It's a gentle way to clean the wood. And then I am in love with this new stain from Cabot. I'll show you. It's a 2-step process. The first coat actually seals, and the second coat actually gives a protective coating, and it looks like hardwood floors. Can you see that? It looks like hardwood floors when it's finished. I love this stain. I'm not using any other stain from now on. I even use this on the chicken coop. It is absolutely gorgeous. Oil-based stain, real durable, lasts forever. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but let me tell you what. You talk about a beautiful stain. Hit subscribe so you don't miss that video, because it has nothing to do with lawns or farms, so you'll miss it for sure. Let me run up. I gotta go get eggs. And oh, I forgot. I still got Austin's. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? And I put a lot of water to this today. It looks so good. This back porch gets really hot in the afternoon in the summertime. I mean, burning hot. So Austin's coming over. He's the guy that did all the shiplap in the house when we redid this project. Really great guy. I'm gonna talk to him about building a roof over this to sort of mimic the lines of the house. So he's going to drop by today. I'd like to have a roof line come out so we could actually use this porch. It's like 150 degrees in the summertime in the afternoon. The sun just pounds on that thing. So I forgot he's coming over later tonight. So it doesn't stop, man. All right, I gotta go get eggs. Let's go get some eggs. And they're all going to be screaming at me. They know the routine. I come up, I give them an afternoon treat or greens, but they'll all be down here screaming at me. I think I forgot to tell you guys about what's going on with these fields, so let me just touch on this real quick. If you follow my channel, you understand that we have 3 fields, 1, 2, and 3. These are all maintained for the wildlife. There's tons of clover, there's cereal rye, there's turnip, all kinds of stuff in here. But what I did was I did a corn strip in with my new 1710 John Deere strip seeder, and then blank. Corn strip in, blank. And what I've done, I came out here yesterday and I cut these rows down low that don't have corn. I've got 50 pounds of buckwheat coming in. And so there's a lot of clover in here, but I want to seed in some buckwheat on these other rows. Now that's for the deer. The deer love the buckwheat and the clover. And every night I have a ton of deer in here. But see these big commercial irrigation heads? They come on these low stands, and we had to take them off there, and we mounted them on 4x4 posts because this corn's going to grow up 6, 7, 8 feet tall, and I won't be able to water it. So we mounted one here. I've got 2 in this field and then 1 way up there. This is my switching station, which is 560 feet away from the pond. We push 560 feet of water up here. It's incredible. That little North Star 2-inch high pressure pump. It has to be a high pressure pump. But this is my experiment this year. We're no-till on our fields. We'll see how it works. But the garden, man, I'll tell you what, Garden looks gorgeous.
Gotta move. Which bucket is it? It's not these two. I'm gonna step on you. You gotta move. Move, 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 move. Don't do that. There, have some grubs. Holy cow. Man, if I don't do that, they won't leave me alone. All right, egg production has been fantastic, by the way. I'm getting about 27 eggs a day. Never have dirty eggs. My eggs are never, ever, ever dirty. Roll out boxes. Holy cow, look at the size of that egg. That's got to be my Buff Orpington. She does that. Look at that. That may be a double yolk too. That is enormous. You want to see something crazy? Look at the size difference of those eggs. Is that nuts or what? That is nuts. Little baby egg and a monster. You gotta watch out, girls. Oh! Aren't they pretty? I know. Hold on. Gosh, that's a lot of eggs. That's got to be 27 eggs right there. Well, that's got to be 27 eggs. Whew. Let's see if somebody wants a butt rub. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, what you doing? Oh, a nice little butt rub. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good butt rub. Where's my Buff Orpington? Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, honey. Come here. You want one too? Everybody likes a good butt rub. Alright, let me make sure this door is closed. Yep. I think we're all set. Are you going to check? She always gets mad when I come get the eggs. Yeah. A nice fan, man. It's beautiful in here. And this is like luxury.